So, good afternoon sa inyong lahat. Pasensyahan nyo na kung medyo maingay yung background ko ngayon. Shout out sa lahat ng nanonood ngayon and thank you kasi, ayan, support. So, ang topic natin ngayon is differential calculus. Let's start with limits of a function. So, the limit of a function is written as the limit of function a as x approaches a is equal to L. Ayan. So, let's start with the first example. What is the limit of x squared plus 4x over 2x as x approaches positive 2? So, yung limit nito is nasa right side kasi positive yung ina-approach ni x. So, substituting the value of x, we have 2 squared plus 4 times 2 over 2 times 2. So, simplifying, we have 4 plus 8, 12 over 4. So, it's equal to 3. So, yan yung limit niya. How about if we have the limit of ln of x over x as x approaches infinity? So, si infinity, ililet lang natin siya na sobrang laking value. So, it may be 1,000, 10,000, basta anything na super big yung value niya. So, substituting infinity, we have ln of infinity over infinity. Pag ganyan na over infinite, indeterminate yan. Ibig sabihin, hindi natin siya madedetermine kung ano yung limit ng function na to. So, what we do is we use L'Hopital's rule. Ayan. So, L'Hopital's rule, kinukuha niya yung derivative ng numerator and yung derivative ng denominator. So, differentiating, we have derivative ng ln is 1 over x, and the derivative of x is 1. So, ang function lang natin is 1 over x. So, substituting yung infinite dito sa baba, we have 1 over infinity. So, ilet mo na si infinity is 10,000. Diba sobrang liit ng value na makukuha mo? So, kapag sobrang laki pa nung dinivide mo, example, 1 over 1 million, 1 over 3 million, yung magiging sagot mo dyan is nearly 0. Kaya ang sagot natin is 0. What about if we have trigonometric identity? So, example number 3. What is the limit of sin x over 5x as x approaches 0? So, obviously, kapag sinubstitute ko yung 0 dito sa denominator, 5 times 0, magiging 0 to, which is 0 over 0. So, pag ganyan guys, indeterminate ulit siya. So, every time na indeterminate yung function mo, gagamit ka ng L'Hopital's rule. So, kukunin natin yung derivative ng numerator at ng denominator. So, ang derivative ng numerator is cosine x. And ang derivative ng nasa baba is 5. So, substituting, we have cosine of 0 over 5. So, cosine of 0 is 1. Ayan. So, ang limit niya is 1/5. Next naman na topic natin is derivative. So, this is all about derivative, si differential calculus. So, ano nga ba ang derivative? So, ito yung slope ng tangent line sa graph. So, ito yung long method niya na formula, the limit of f of x plus yung delta x minus f of x over delta x. Ito yung long method derivatives na formula. But then, we have different rules kapag kumukuha tayo ng derivative. So, first rule is power rule. For example, I have function of x is equal to x raised to n. So, kapag kinuha ko yung derivative niyan, the formula will be n times x raised to n minus 1. So, this is a formula of the power rule. Let's proceed with an example. So, example number 1. Get the derivative of 5x raised to 4. Ayan, simplihan lang natin. So, ito yung power natin, si 4. So, what we do is bring down 4 times 5x. So, 4 minus 1, 3. Simplifying, we have 20x cubed. So, paano naman kapag ginamit ko yung long method? Kasi sa ibang schools, dinidiscuss pa rin nila yung long method derivatives. So, isi-show ko lang sa inyo kung paano yon. So, we have 5x plus delta x raised to 4 minus 5x raised to 4 over delta x. So, isi-simplify pala to. 5 kapag in-expand ko yung binomial, Pascal's triangle, we have 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 4, 6, 4. Sorry guys kung medyo maingay yung background. So we have x raised to 4 plus so 4x cubed delta x plus 6x squared delta x squared plus 4x delta x cubed plus delta x 4. Ayan. Tapos minus 5x raised to 4 over delta x. So, kapag sinimplify ko yan, 5x raised to 4 plus 20x cubed delta x plus 30 x squared delta x squared plus 20 x delta x cubed plus 5 delta x raised to 4 minus 5x raised to 4 over delta x. So, ayan. From the last equation, ifa-factor out ko lang yung delta x para makancel siya doon sa denominator natin. So, delta x, 5x raised to 4 over delta x para makancel out, plus 20x cubed plus 30x squared delta x plus 20x delta x squared plus 5 delta x cubed minus 5x raised to 4 delta x over delta x. So, makakancel na to. And, ito rin. So, yung equation natin magiging 20x cubed plus 30x squared delta x plus 20x delta x squared plus 5 delta x cubed. So, sabi sa equation kanina ng long method derivative as x approaches 0. So, itong mga to, itong mga delta x, magiging 0, 0, and 0. So, the final answer will be 20x cubed. So, same lang siya dun sa shortcut natin kanina, which is yung power rule. So, pinakita ko lang naman. And next, meron din tayo yung pangalawang rule, which is constant rule. So, si constant rule, ang sinasabi lang naman niya is any derivative of a constant is equal to 0. So, always yan. Always yan. Pangatlo is we have constant multiple rule. So, the derivative of a constant multiplied to a function is equal to, ayan, imumultiply lang natin siya sa derivative ng function. Ayan, it's another formula. And then, ito yung pinaka alam nating rule. We have the product rule. Ayan, ito ang commonly used na dalawa, product rule. And the derivative of, for example, we have function of x times the function of g. Ayan, ang formula nito is d over dx times g of x. So, kukunin mo muna yung derivative ni f, tapos ita-times mo siya kay g, plus, kukunin mo yung derivative ni g, at ita-times mo siya kay f. Ayan. So, example, mamaya na. Ang fifth rule natin is quotient rule. So, f of x over g of x naman. Ngayon, ang formula dito is g of x, ito, times the derivative of f of x minus f of x times the derivative of g of x over g of x squared. Ayan. So, let's proceed sa example. Number 1. Find the derivative of x over e raised to x. Ayan. So, obviously, gagamitin natin si quotient rule. So, derivative is we have let g of x si e raised to x and f of x is si x. So, substituting sa formula, we have g of x e raised to x times the derivative of x, we have 1, minus f of x times the derivative of e raised to x, which is e raised to x din, over e raised to x squared. Simplifying, e raised to x minus x e raised to x over e raised to x squared. So, pwede kong i-factor out dito si e raised to x. Factor out, we have 1 minus x e raised to x squared. So, makakancel yung isa. So, final answer, we have 1 minus x over e raised to x. Ayan. That's the derivative. Ano pa ba? Example number 2. Example number 2, we have x squared plus 3x squared ay 3x plus 2 over x squared minus 1. So, quotient rule ulit to. So, the derivative is x squared minus 1. Kunin natin yung derivative nitong numerator. So, plus 3x plus 2 times yung derivative nitong denominator, which is 2x over x squared minus 1 squared. So, simplifying, ayan. Ayan na ang maingay na background. So, we have 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 2x minus 3. And then, we have 2x cubed plus 6x squared plus 4x. So, over x raised to 4 minus 2x squared plus 1. Simplifying, magiging, so ito magka-cancel out na to, itong 2. Ito, 3 minus 6, we have, tama ba? 3 minus 3x squared. Negative 2 minus 4, negative 6x, and then minus 3. Ayan. Over x raised to 4 minus 2x squared plus 1. So, ito na yung derivative niya. Let's proceed naman sa example na merong trigonometric function. So, example number 3. Ano ba? Ito. Y is equal to ln of x times cosine of x. So, this is product rule. The derivative is, kunin muna natin ito, ln of x times yung derivative ni cosine, which is negative sine of x, plus, kunin natin si cosine, times derivative ng ln of x is 1 over x. So, simplifying, negative sine x ln of x plus cosine x over x. Ayan. Yan na yung sagot. Or pwede mo pa naman siyang i-simplify kung gusto mo. Now, let's proceed sa chain rule. So, chain rule is when we differentiate a function of a function. So, example, meron kang y is equal to f of g of x. Diyan mo gagamitin si chain rule. So, ang formula ng chain rule is we have dy over dx is equal to dy over du times du over dx. So, paano siya naging ganyan? So, sa given na function, I will let u be equal to g of x. So, y is now equal to f of u. So, kapag kinuha ko yung du over dy nito, eto. Let's illustrate na lang with an example. So, example number 1. Ayan. Y is equal to cosine of x squared. Ayan. So, in this example, I will let u equal to x squared. And then my y is equal to cosine of u. Differentiating du over dx, we have 2x. And dy with respect to u is equal to negative sine u. So, sa-substitute ko lang siya sa formula ng chain rule, which is dy over dx is equal to dy over du times du over dx. So, dy over du is negative sine of u. U is equal to x squared times du over dx is 2x. So, we have negative 2x sine of x squared. So, ito na yung dy over dx natin. Ayan. So, ayan, isa pang example. Number 2. Paano naman if we have y is equal to cosine of x squared? Ayan. So, in this example, I will let u cosine x. Basta kung ano man yung nasa loob ng, nasa parenthesis, yun yung pinakamagandang i-substitute nyo sa u. So, I have y is equal to u squared. Kasi nasa loob lang naman siya eh. And then, I will have my du over dx be equal to negative sine of x. And the derivative of dy with respect to u is 2u. Substituting sa ating formula, we have dy over dx is equal to 2 2u, which is cosine x, times du over dx, which is negative sine of x. Simplifying, we have negative 2 cosine x sine x. So, yun na yung final answer. Another example, y is equal to 2x minus 5 raised to 10. So, sabi ko nga kanina, pinakamagandang nililet sa u is yung nasa loob ng parenthesis. So, we have u is equal to 2x minus 5 and our y is u raised to 10. So, du over dx, we have 2 and dy over du is 10 u raised to 9. So, dito ginamit natin si power rule kanina na sinabi ko. Simplifying, dy over dx is equal to dy over du times du over dx. So, substituting, we have 10 u raised to 9. So, si u is 2x minus 5 raised to 9 times 2. So, final answer, we have 20 2x minus 5 raised to 9. Ayan. So far, nagigets pa naman. Example number 4. We have, paano naman kapag y is equal to sine 5x? So, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na ang derivative niyan is cosine 5x. Kasi, hindi ganon yung way ng pag-differentiate kapag merong constant sa loob ni sine. So, ang gagawin mo dito, ililet ulit natin na u, ito. So, u is equal to 5x. So, our y is sine of u. So, derivative nito with respect to x is 5. Derivative ni y with respect to u is cosine u. So, substitute ulit natin. We have 5 times cosine of u, which is 5x. So, laging ganyan. When we are differentiating y is equal to sine of nx, n can be any integer. So, ang laging formula nito is n cosine of nx. Lagi yan kapag sine. And when we are differentiating cosine of nx, lagi namang negative n sine of nx. Yan. Lagi niyong tatandaan itong dalawang ito. So hot. Next example. Paano naman gawin natin mas complicated? Ano number na yun? Number 5. Paano kapag y is equal to sine of x plus e raised to x? So, yun nga, let u equal to x plus e raised to x. So, si y natin is sine of u. And then, derivative nito with respect to x is 1 plus derivative of e raised to x is e raised to x. So, derivative of y with respect to u is cosine of u. So, substituting sa formula ulit kanina, dy over du, we have cosine of u is equal to x plus e raised to x times d over dx, which is 1 plus e raised to x. So, simplifying, cosine x plus e raised to x plus e raised to x cosine x plus e raised to x. So, that's my final answer. Isa pa. What if we have y is equal to tangent of x squared plus sine of x? I will let my u equal to x squared plus sine x. So my y will be equal to tangent of u. Derivative of u with respect to x is equal to 2x plus derivative ng sine is cosine of x. Derivative naman ni y with respect to u is, derivative ni tangent u is secant squared. Ayan. So, always remember yung different derivatives ng mga trigonometric functions natin kasi napaka-useful niyan. Ayan. So, substituting sa formula ulit. dy over du, which is secant squared of u, x squared plus sine x times 2x plus cosine x. So, simplify na lang natin. We have 2x secant squared x squared plus sine x times plus cosine x secant squared x squared plus sine x. So, yan na yung final answer natin. Ano pa ba? Example pa ba? Ano pa bang example? So, may ipapasagot lang ako sa inyo na apat na problem. So, kayo naman, i-try nyo to. Una, what if I have y is equal to ln sine squared x? Number 2, wait lang, magpapailaw lang ako. Ayan, mas maliwanag. Ayan. So, number 2 naman is, what if y is equal to 1 plus cosine x squared minus 1 raised to 3 over 2. Ayan. So, try nyo munang sagutan ito. And, siguro mga 2 to 3 minutes. Meron pa pala additional. Para ma-practice nyo lang din. Y is equal to sine squared ln of x. And last, y is equal to square root of cosine 3x minus 1. Ayan, practice problem. So, bibigyan ko kayo ng mga 2 minutes. Ayan, para masagot. Papatugtog muna ako, guys. So, tuloy natin guys. For number 1, so I will let u equal to sine squared x and y will be ln of u. So, dito, it can be written as sine x squared. So, gagamitin ulit natin siya ng chain rule. So, pwedeng mag-let na lang ako ng other variable, which is v, magiging sine x. So, dv over dx is cosine x. So, my y is equal to v squared. So, dy over dv is 2v. So, kapag sinubstitute ko dyan, sa formula kanina, we have 2 times v, which is sine x, times cosine x. So, ang derivative ni du over dx is 2 sine x cosine x. So, itong si dy over du, we have 1 over u. U is sine squared x. So, kapag sinubstitute ko siya sa formula, dy over dx, we have 1 over sine squared x times 2 sine x cosine x. So, magka-cancel yung isa. Ang final answer is 2 cosine x over sine x, which is 2 cotangent x. And then, for number 2, I will let u equal to 1 plus cosine x squared minus 1. So, my y is u raised to 3 over 2. And then, derivative nito, ito ay constant. So, 0 lang yan. Ito, kukunin mo yung derivative nito. So, for the derivative ng cosine of x squared minus 1, I will let dito, for cosine x squared minus 1, let u equal to x squared minus 1. So, my y is cosine of u. And then, derivative, magiging 2x. And derivative is negative sine u. So, kapag sinubstitute ko siya, dito, negative 2x sine of u, which is x squared minus 1. So, ito na yung derivative ng u natin na 1 plus cosine x squared minus 1. Derivative naman ni dy over du is 3 over 2u raised to 1 half. So, ito naman si power rule kanina. And then, substituting dun sa ating formula, we have 3 over 2 u raised to 1 half. U is x squared minus 1 raised to 1 half times, ito, derivative ni u kanina is ito, negative 2x sine of x squared minus 1. So, kapag sinimplify ko pa to, cancel na to, magiging negative 3x sine of x squared minus 1 mali pala. Si u, ito palang u is mali. Ulit guys. Kapag sinubstitute ko pala, we have dy over dx, which is dy over du times du over dx. So, ito si dy over du natin. 3 over 2 u. U is 1 plus cosine x squared minus 1 pala. Raised to 1/2. And then, times du over dx, which is ito. Negative 2x sine x squared minus 1. Ayan. Kakancel na yan. Negative 3x sine of x squared minus 1 times 1 plus cosine x squared minus 1 raised to 1/2. So, ito na yung final answer. And then, for number 3, so si number 3 is y is equal to sine squared ln of x. Ito, ililet ko naman si u as ln of x, and my y is sine squared of u. So, du over dx is 1 over x. So, dito, pwede mo rin siyang isulat as sine of u squared. So, gagamitan ulit natin siya ng chain rule. So, for this function, let v equal to sine u and my y is equal to v squared. Kasi ito. And then, kunin ko lang ulit yung derivative. Cosine u. Derivative ni y with respect to v is 2v. So, kapag sinimplify ko to, magiging 2 times yung v, which is sine u, times cosine u. So, derivative nitong sine squared u is 2 sine u cosine u. So, ibalik na natin siya dun sa formula. 2 sine u, 2 sine u is ln of x, cosine of u, ln of x, times 1 over x. So, over x lang yun. So, yan na yung final answer kay number 3. For the last, which is number 4. Number 4 is square root of cosine 3x minus 1. So, ito, ibig sabihin lang din yan is cosine of 3x minus 1 raised to 1 half. So, I will let u equal to cosine of 3x minus 1. So, my y is equal to u raised to 1 half. And then, derivative of u with respect to x is, ito, gagamitan mo ulit to ng chain rule kasi function, i-differentiate mo yung function of a function. So, for cosine 3x minus 1, let v equal to 3x minus 1. So, my y is cosine of v. Differentiate ko lang to. We have 3. And ito, we have negative sign of v. So, kapag kinuha ko na yung derivative ni cosine 3x minus 1, we have negative sign of v. V is equal to 3x minus 1 times 3. So, ang derivative ni cosine 3x minus 1 ay negative 3 sine of 3x minus 1. So, ilalagay ko siya dito. Negative 3 sine of 3x minus 1. So, derivative naman ni y with respect to u is power rule ulit. So, we have 1 half u raised to 1 half minus 1 is negative 1 half. Ayan. So, substituting sa formula ng chain rule, we have dy over du times du over dy. So, dy over du is we have 1 half u. U natin ay cosine 3x minus 1 raised to 1 half times du over dy, dx I mean, dx to, is negative 3 sine 3x minus 1. So, simplifying, we have negative 3 sine of 3x minus 1 over 2. So, since negative 1 half yan, nasa baba siya ng equation natin. So, nasa denominator siya. So, square root lang ng cosine 3x minus 1. So, yan na yung final answer ng number 4. So, ayun guys. That ends my lecture for today. Wow, lecture. And nanggugulo yung dalawang kaklase ko ng college dito. So, si Joshua at si Kenneth. And, ayun. So, hopefully, meron kayong natutunan for today's lecture. So, more to come kapag hindi busy. And, ayun. Thank you sa lahat ng nanood. Bye, guys.